Hello, everybody. It's Jazzy Video Store Sasquatch here, and we are doing our Throwback Thursday. I have a new movie for you, and then we're going to talk about my number 5 and 4 movie of all time today, and then we'll go to number 3 tomorrow because it's a horror movie. And then I have a new movie for you that I went and saw over the weekend, and we'll start there. That movie is The Devil Wears Prada 2, directed by David Frankel, starring Anne Hathaway, Meryl Streep, and Stanley Tucci. Andy Sachs reunites with Miranda Priestley as they navigate their careers amid the decline of traditional magazine publishing. Honestly, I don't know who wanted to see this movie, but it was like a good feel good movie for people that want to wrap this like story up between Andy and Miranda here. It has a nice little thank you to Stanley Tucci as well. Emily Blunt's in this, Lucy Liu, and then Lady Gaga is another one. There's a couple other obviously prominent figures into fashion and movies and stuff like this that are involved with this movie as well. Those are kind of the main names I was looking at. Honestly, like I didn't hate the movie. I didn't hate the first one. I just think that it was just like, well, okay, it's been what 2006. I think the first one came out. So since 2006, so almost 20 years now, we're into the same movie, and it's pretty much the same vibe of the movie, like except for like Meryl Streep plays a meaner version of Miranda Priestley, and Anne Hathaway's Andy kind of feels a little bit bad for what she has done or what she is going to do because she's going to write a book. So maybe this is like more towards the story of her writing the book and like real life. I don't really know. I'm pretty sure it's like a true story or something like that. From reading everything, Emily Blunt's pretty funny in this. The guy that Lucy Liu is married to is pretty funny in this too. Lucy Liu is good in this. Lady Gaga had a little funny little exchange with Miranda. It was kind of quick, but it was interesting to see her in this as well. And she played herself, and then she had a little song, and pretty sure a music video will come out of that. So that kind of helps everyone there involved as well with Lady Gaga star power. We'll go into the numbers later because we'll have the weekend box office. It did good. It was number one movie of the weekend. Kind of expected that. I mean, anything with Meryl Streep in it is probably going to sell, especially with Meryl Streep in this property here, where everyone pretty much that like around that time or everyone that was kind of involved with this even kind of seen it later on. I mean, it was in The Office. It was like a real big pop culture event when it first came out. So they kind of looking for that kind of nostalgia there. I mean, overall, this movie was a C. I don't know. I mean, I really don't think they really expected anything better than just an average movie from this movie. And they got the numbers I'm pretty sure that they wanted because it did have a pretty good weekend. So I'm sure everyone's happy that's involved. I will probably get a third one here in 20 years. Maybe after Meryl Streep passes away, it'll be Andy and Emily Blunt's character fighting over something or something, and just continue on. But I mean, it is what it is. That is the Devil Wears Prada 2, directed by David Frankel. And then my number 5 favorite movie of all time here is or well, let's go into the box office first, actually. Let's see here. The box office for the weekend was there. What Devil Wars Prada at a 76.7 million dollar opening weekend. Michael 54 million with 188.8 million dollars total so far. And the Super Mario Galaxy is another one that was over 10 million with 12.1 million and a 403.3 million dollar total so far. I'm pretty sure that I'm pretty sure that's the U.S. totals too, only with the totals. So you add on the foreign box office, and I bet Super Mario Galaxy Brothers is around $1 billion already. That's crazy how well that's doing, but it is a worldwide hit, so that's awesome. Nothing really, like I said, that was probably number one of the weekend. Nothing really surprising there. 76.7 million actually is a really good weekend, especially for like a PG-13 movie, and it's not. I mean, it's a franchise, but it's not like superheroes or anything like that. It is just kind of like a regular comedy drama type deal. So very good opening weekend for that. I'm sure they're happy about that. My number 5 favorite movie here is The Green Mile, directed by Frank Darabont, starring Tom Hanks, Michael Clark Duncan, and David Morris. A death row guard learns that a gentle giant in his charge possesses a mysterious gift. This came out December 10th of 1999, had a budget of 60 million, an opening of 18 million, and a total gross worldwide of 268.8 million. So just a really big number there. Sam Rockwell, Michael Jeter, Barry Pepper, so many other people kind of pop up into this movie that you know and see and recognize from '99 and around the '90s movies here. This is like one of the crazy, like, good Stephen King book movies where the movie and the book kind of go along and they're both just as good as each other. So you really don't lose anything here. It is like a really good, like, it's not even a book, it's really like a more of a novella, right? I believe that they call it because it's like six different separate stories brought together into the one for the Green Mile. So they get this whole like 3 hour movie with just an amazing cast, an amazing story, and like everything in between is just so good to this movie. Like, yeah, this is like one of my early favorites too, and I just remember watching it and like thinking, "Oh God, Stephen King's awesome storyteller," and like reading a bunch of Stephen King books from here on out. So around that time period, I probably read about everything he did, and watched everything that was involved with Stephen King as this movie. So, and I mean, Frank Darabont did a very good job bringing the story to life from the book, and Michael Clark Duncan is just an amazing actor, especially for this piece where like he is charged with such a heinous crime, but then he kind of realized it and play him, and he realized Sam Rockwell is the one that kind of did it all, and he kind of realized that too. And then I was like, just a great story. It's like great pacing too throughout it. It really is because the first hour is pretty much setting up everything. The second hour is getting to the meat of the story, and then the third hour is conclusion. I mean, everything is just wrapped up right with this movie. I really highly suggest if you've never seen it. This was for sure one of my favorites. This is another one of the '90 movies, like, and it's early on, but it's still, it really is a really good movie. So that is The Green Mile, directed by Frank Darabont. And then my number four movie of all time is The Departed, directed by Martin Scorsese, starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Matt Damon, Jack Nicholson, an undercover cop and a mole in the police attempt to identify each other while infiltrating an Irish gang in South Boston. Um, Alec Baldwin shows up in this. Mark Wahlberg, Vera Farmiga. So many more people are in this movie. I just can't even think of them just at the top of my head. Just this is such a stacked, packed cast. I mean, that's why it probably had the budget of 90 million. But October 6, 2006 is the release date. Had a budget of 90 million. Had an opening of 26 and a total gross 292 point not or 292 $1 million. Leo, this is one of Leo's best movies. How he didn't get an Oscar or even anything in consideration for this movie is crazy. I mean, even Mark Wahlberg's memorable in this. Matt Damon's memorable in this. Like, and there's so many great one-liners throughout the movie that you kind of repeat after watching it, especially with the fun South Boston accent that you kind of make fun of with all that. It is really, I mean, it's a masterpiece. It's Martin Scorsese, so it's one of the best directors of all time. Well, it's just a great story. Aaron, I mean, for the longest time, this had been my number one movie until it just kind of grew out of it and moved on and kind of really adjusted everything. So, I mean, for a long time, this was because it's just such a great story. It's such a tragedy. Everyone dies in this. No one makes the right decision. Um, yeah, I mean, there's just so many like, crazy things. I'm just like thinking about everything. I was just thinking about the guy, like this the ending sequence where they come out of the elevator and he just shoots the Leo in the head and aren't fucking what's his name, Anderson. Don't even know what to do when he comes out. He gets shot in the head and dude tells him that he's been with this and he gets shot in the head. Like it just so many crazy stuff happens at the end of this movie that's just so wild. So this is a Jack Nicholson performance that you'll remember too. He's just awfully vicious. Like the beginning scene when the lady falls and she's like, "It didn't fall right." It's just so classic Jack Nicholson. So there's so many good things about this movie. If you've never seen it, I definitely suggest it. It's really good. Came out in 2006. So like I said, like 2006, 2008, there's just a ton of good movies that came out around that time period. And this is one of the best movies in that. And that is The Departed, directed by Martin Scorsese. So now here we are, guys. We're talking about Better Call Saul here. We have this week and then next week, and it's all over. We're on the very end of season 6 here. What a wild ride, because really this is like the end of like the main parts of the season, because after this it looked like it was just Jimmy being Eugene in Omaha. So here we go. Season 6, episode 7, plan and execution. Lalo is exiting the sewers to start walking the streets. That's a timer, gets in a car, takes a nap, takes off, goes back into the sewer. He's spying on Gus's laundromat with a super lab from the sewer. It just shows you the patience that Lalo had here. Saul has to convince an actor he uses to quit his job for some reshoots. The kid he uses to shoot his commercials lecturing in class. When Saul grabs him, the dude has to shoot it with the cast from the previous episode. So Kim shows up and helps out as well. So that's just leaving off from the very end of that episode. Um, 6 there. Howard is meeting with a new employee and reminiscing about Charles, his PI. Shows depicts to Howard that Jimmy had just took in with the guy in the cast, so we know that the PI is working with Howard. Irene is part of the meditation, or Irene is part of the. I don't get that. Oh, Irene, the old lady, is part of the mediation. The PI is working with Jimmy and putting something on the picture he handed Howard. Howard accuses him of taking a bribe from Jimmy. Howard breaks. Oh yeah, so so Howard sees a guy. Jimmy has nothing to do with this, but he's listening in on the line with Kim. And when he sees the guy, he immediately recognizes the cast and recognizes this funky ass mustache this guy had, and calls him out and accuses him of doing it. And when he calls him out, he has his assistant go to his office and get the pictures, which we already know the PI was working with the Jimmy here, so we already know that all this is going to go wrong for him, for Howard here, because this is pretty much the end game for all of them. You know what I mean? For this whole scheme that they set up all season, Howard gets the bait, and on top of that, whatever's on that picture ruins everything for him. It makes it look like he's on drugs because he starts to really hallucinate, and his pupils like dilate and everything. There's no good for Howard here, and Cliff just tells him, "Look, it whatever happened doesn't matter now. Now we have to take the offer because every day we don't, we're going to lose this and this and this." So this is a crazy way to end the end game here. Lalo makes a tape to the Don showing him the proof he has against Gus. He's going to expose the lab to the Don. So he's ready to expose the Don. I think one of the Dons that we've seen already that, hey, look at Gus is making the super meth lab. I know he is for sure, and this is where he's doing it. This is how he's doing it. Howard confronts Kim and Jimmy in their apartment after they get Sandpiper to settle. He is not happy, and really, this is kind of the saddest scene because honestly, Howard here does not deserve to die. I mean, no one really deserves to die, obviously, or get killed. But really, like, he is the most like innocent dude throughout this whole time because honestly, he really is kind of played in a hard spot with Chuck and Jimmy, and then on top of that, when he sees Jimmy kind of spiraling out, he really does reach out to Kim. He's genuine with everything that he believes in here. So he's just kind of really, honestly, a good guy that just kind of got stuck in this whole tornado with Lalo and Howard there. He kills Howard here right in front of Jimmy and Kim. He pretty much, that is the end of that episode. So that's the end of that episode. But he killed him like right in front of him, and I mean that is probably just the rest of the episodes and everything that affected Jimmy the most for 100% sure. And Howard really did not deserve to be in the situation too. So it's just really a bummer here. If there's like anyone innocent in this whole Breaking Bad like universe that really didn't deserve what they got, Howard is one of them. But like the whole point of everything that I wanted to bring up, the bigger point of everything in like the Breaking Bad and everything is whenever you do try and reach out and do good, it always bites you. In this whole universe, everything they ever do when they try to do good, it reaches out and bites the person in it. So it's really something the director really likes to focus on. So and it really, if you go back and watch it and notice it, it's really prevalent throughout the whole series from both Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. Um, Season 6, episode 8 here, point and shoot. It starts at the beach with Howard's car. They dumped it. They tried to make it look like a suicide. So this is in the future here a little bit because we get right back into the apartment where Lalo's talking with Jimmy and Kim and giving them instructions to Gus's house that Jimmy is going to kill Gus when he gets there, and he wants a picture to prove it. And when he comes back, he'll get Kim back. They end up talking it out, and Kim ends up going, and Jimmy stays there. Lalo literally leaves Jimmy looking at Howard, shot, like blood to coming out, face to face. He literally leaves him like that. It's a great shot. It's just crazy, and it really kind of shows this messed up things here. Kim shows up at Gus's house. Mike intercepts her. She tells Lalo is at their apartment. Mike takes a team to go after Lalo, and Jimmy and Kim and Lalo goes after him, and Jimmy goes after Lalo at Jimmy and Kim's, and Lalo is gone. Gus goes to the lab where Lalo is with another team, and this whole intense scene happens. Pretty much Lalo dies after all this, and they just bury the bodies under the super lab, both Howard and the guy, and Mike cleans everything up. Wild ending to all this story. It is so crazy, just like everything that happened in that short period of time, and just the effects and ramifications, everything are definitely are felt throughout it because in this next episode we're gonna go into that. Season 6, episode 9, Fun and Games. Getting Saul Goodman associates with the sign, Saul and Francesca outside, and a montage of Saul and Kim getting along after everything. It's only been like a couple of days, but it shows like Mike cleaning the house, all this. It's a great montage here. Ghost shows up at Don's house. The twins are there and they're accusing him of everything Lalo knew. The Don does not believe Hector or the Salamancas about it. He doesn't even believe, because twins don't even really believe Hector about it because the twins had seen a body and had identified that as Lalo. So, crazy story there. Ghost goes to a local winery after everything, relaxing. Seems to be friendly with a guy there or the owner or manager, and they just kind of talk about wine and stuff. And just kind of like to show that Gus is finally like relieved after everything that's happened. Mike meets with Nacho's father and lets him know that Nacho is gone. Jimmy and Kim go to Howard's funeral at the office. Kim has to withdraw from the case after everything has happened. Joe's not happy, but she eventually lets him know that she had quit being a lawyer. I mean, right there, the guilt right there shows you what happened. Jimmy comes home and tries to talk her out of quitting. Already finds it's done, and Kim wants out and say they're poisoned together, and they divorce or getting a divorce right there. Crazy. I did not expect Jimmy and Kim to go at the end of this and just do it, but I'm glad that Kim kind of woke up and realized that Jimmy and Kim together not good. Time jump to the day that Saul Goodman met Walter White. I'm guessing, kind of with all the background and everything, so we know from there all the crazy things Saul had to do. So that is the end of all that story with Gus. That is in the story of Mike. That is how Jimmy became Saul Goodman. Just wow, masterful storytelling. Honestly, season 6, episode 10, Nippy. Back to Jimmy in Omaha. He meets an old lady on her way home from the grocery store, and she is stuck in the snow. She is in the kitchen talking with her, and her grandson shows up. It's the guy who confronted him at the mall. Jimmy is setting up a job at the mall. He's working with a guy who recognizes him. He marks out the store with the sticks and has them practicing it. He lets them know that they have only 3 minutes. Jimmy's in the guard watching the dude on the cameras, and he's running through everything and slips and falls. Yeah, the dude's running through everything he's been told, and he slips and falls and knocks him unconscious. They get away with it. Saul lets them know at the end of the episode they are done and to cut ties. It's over. So we're kind of seeing where Gene and Saul are kind of coming together here and like an Omaha story here. So I'm guessing that this is like gonna be how eventually Jimmy gets busted here in these next 3 episodes. Is they're gonna find him somewhere and they're just gonna arrest him. Probably being told on by the guy here. But it's crazy because it's black and white. I hope that like the whole thing is in black and white for these next 3 episodes. I hope we get some color, but if it is, I'll watch it. It won't matter. I'm very impressed with the story. The very great storytelling by Vince Gilligan. This whole universe really is a great storytelling. We have one more week of this, and then after that, we'll do some like fun stuff about like the whole Breaking Bad universe and stuff like this. I'm glad you guys voted for that. Thank you very much for voting if you did vote. Thank you very much for watching, and have a good rest of your day or night, guys. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Comment your top movie picks for Throwback Thursday in the comment section. And see you next time in the cave.